All right, time to recap the best games of week 12 of college football. And Ted, let's start in Athens, Georgia, where, whoa, this was a 14-10 game at going into the fourth quarter. Then
Yeah.
I know Georgia had the ball, like they're driving, they're going in. But buddy, you talk about a dominant fourth quarter from the Dogs. They choked them out in the fourth, man. That was impressive.
Yeah. And how about Kirby Smart just being like, hey, we're not going to just try and close this game out. We're going to stomp on you in the fourth quarter. And they got really aggressive and trusted their defense. Right. And that, if Georgia's one of those teams that you feel like, especially with Gunnar Stockton in the season he's put together, like they are starting to look like some Georgia teams of the past.
Gunnar Stockton was awesome. And I know he throws a pick in the third quarter. I get it. Texas cashes that in. I think that was the one Manning to Wingo in the end zone there. And it you look up and you're like, wait, it's 14-10? But early and late, Gunnar Stockton was unbelievable in this game. I mean, some of the throws he had on those first couple drives, you're like, oh, this guy looks like an NFL starter right now. I thought the whole thing was he wasn't very good at throwing. He was just, I mean, dime after dime early in this game for him. And he's just, he's an incredibly productive player. Man, 24-29 for 229, 4 touchdowns, and then added 29 rushing yards. And I think, didn't he had the late touchdown to make it 35-10,
Five
which
touchdowns.
ultimately
Yep.
just a casual 5 touchdown performance in your biggest game of the season. That'll work.
Against I mean, top five, top 10 defense, however you want to classify Texas, really good defense. It's a hell of a performance.
But that fourth quarter, I just and it was rare to see like that London Humphreys touchdown. It was rare. It's rare to see Texas just bust in the back end of their defense like that. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it was Taff, which is even more surprising.
Yeah.
But it then they so there was that play, and that makes it 21-10. And you're like, okay, Texas gonna have to put something together on this drive, and that's when they hit him with the surprise onside, and you're like, that felt like the thing that it that felt like that's when the Georgia Avalanche started in that fourth quarter.
Damn near disrespectful, right? I mean, to say like, we'll take this risk, maybe giving you the ball at midfield. That was that's a heck of a call by Kirby Smart.
When I watch Texas, they they're struggling to play an offensive style that complements their defense. Arch Manning throwing the ball 43 times is not what you want to do when you got a really good defense.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they got playmakers, man. I understand that. I know what they have at wide receiver. I get it. But when you got a defense like that, you just want to be able to control the game. And their inability to run the ball puts so much pressure on Arch Manning, and it puts even more pressure on that defense. So Wisner was 9 for 37, and Baxter had 1 for 3.
Yeah. I mean,
I,
you look at it, they had 60 offensive snaps and Arch was 27 of 43. So of their 60 offensive snaps, 16 of them are dead plays, like nothing there. It's just an incompletion. Um, it's hard to play a defense like Georgia and have that many just nothing plays from your offense. I mean, that's a big chunk of what you're doing and hard to overcome that.
Texas had one play over 20 yards. It's
Man.
a hard way to play offense. We just talked about OU's performance against Bama. Like when you cannot produce explosive plays, it makes playing offense really difficult. And Texas has an offensive line problem. Like that's the problem with their team. They can't block people in the run game. Arch is feeling a ton of pressure a lot of the time in the pocket. Like they moved some pieces around. I think they thought they had solved those problems, and Georgia exposed that group as a whole. And that's where that's why Texas's team is not going to accomplish what a lot of people thought they could accomplish heading into this season, is because they're just not good enough along the offensive line.
I say what you want to about Arch. That dude's tough, man. He takes some shots week in, week out, and he keeps getting up and he keeps standing in there and firing. It's pretty impressive, honestly.
Yeah. And I know Texas's defense wasn't lights out and it kind of came apart in the fourth quarter, but there was a long, long stretch of that game where that defense played really, really well.
I mean, you're in the game going into the fourth quarter on the road against Georgia. You know, like the formula is kind of similar to what we've been kind of dealing with, but they weren't able to make the plays, and Georgia was.
Georgia just might be the best team in the country. It's hard to say it's not Ohio State, but Georgia is, it feels like they are peaking at the right time. And Texas now, I don't think their playoff chances are completely dead, but they're going to have to get a lot of help, man. And they still have to play A&M in the final game of the season, which is actually exactly what they need for a playoff resume. But yeah, Texas's college football playoff hopes feel like they're on life support a bit.
Yep, I agree. They got They got Arkansas at home, which you feel like they should be able to win that football game, and then that A&M game is going to be interesting.
I well, we'll talk about that A&M game and winners and losers. That was whoa. I mean, whoa. But let's get to our next game. Notre Dame and Pitt. We don't have to spend a ton of time on this one.
Woo.
Now, I do want to remind you, our Battle Bets League, battlebets.app/OK breakdown is going to run through the end of college football season. Our playoffs are going to match up with the CFP. So join the league. The top half will make the playoffs. So go to battlebets.app/OK breakdown. Make sure you download the free BattleBets app. Come compete against us and the other listeners in our league. And the winner of the playoffs will win $1,000.
All right. I love it. Big money.
BattleBets.app/OK breakdown. Notre Dame. They win it 37-15. And I'm just going to call it how I see it. I'm going to go out on a limb here, Ted. Jeremiah loves pretty good football.
Yeah. Yeah. He's legit, man. For a couple of, he's been the best back in college football for a couple of years, and just continues to be really, really fun to watch carry the ball. Physical, fast, explosive, does everything that you want.
He rips off that 56-yard touchdown run where, hey, it's him and the safety one-on-one in space, and I don't even think the guy touches him.
Yep.
And he does that, and it's followed up. Heinzel stares it down. They throw pick six, and it was 14-0. And I was just there going, okay, well, this is over.
That was fun while it lasted.
And I know CJ Card threw a pick, and it got returned to like the 11-yard line, but Notre Dame forced, they were able to bow up and force a field goal attempt. But this one was just, it was over quickly, and we should have known, man. Pat Narduzzi told us, this game doesn't matter that much. Now, I think a lot of people are going to bring that up, but it really was. You're just watching two teams. They were kind of just on different levels, right? Yep. That's how it looked in one of the best uniform matchups you're ever going to see. Just gorgeous.
Yeah. And you're right. Like Notre Dame plays a bunch of teams that they're just a different caliber of football team. I know we'll get to it, but that USC win for them is carrying pretty much the entire load for them right now.
No. They've got great losses, Ted. Don't forget.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Don't forget how much weight the great losses carry for the
There you
Irish.
go. There you go.
I I think this is where we're at. We'd like to congratulate Notre Dame on another college football playoff berth.
Syracuse and Stanford remaining.
I suppose anything can happen, but feels like we can just congratulate our Notre Dame friends for making another college football playoff.
Yeah. I mean,
I,
Syracuse is 3-7 and Stanford is 3-7, a combined 6-14. So, yep. Just wondering where they're going to play right now.
Seems like they'll host, and we'll see what that ends up looking like. But CJ Carr did make some interesting mistakes in this game. I will say one of the things that people have talked about Notre Dame for several years, like, hey, do they have the playmakers at the wide receiver position? I feel like CJ Carr brings a new aggressiveness to the quarterback position for them. Like he wants to push it down the field. And dude, Malachi Fields made some ridiculous plays in this game. I mean, the jump ball touchdown, the one-handed catch.
Yeah, that
He ends
one-handed
up
catch was sick.
that was like what 7 for 99 and 2 touchdowns. If they're gonna make some noise in the playoff, Fields has to make those types of plays. So I'm sure that was really encouraging for Marcus Freeman to see, and he's been solid, but to make those big time competitive plays like that could be the difference between Notre Dame having a first round exit or Notre Dame possibly going and playing like another national championship.
Yep. No, I agree.
Jeremiah Love also very good at football. I don't know if I
Very,
mentioned that.
very good. Very good.
Heisman,
They're just a good, solid, all around football team.
physical team,
Physical.
well coached. Uh, Jeremiah Love, Heisman finalist. You think?
No.
You don't think he's going to get there?
I don't know. Maybe.
It depends on how many get invited. I think he's going to sneak in there. He's really good, dude.
Yeah. He's got
He also
1,100.
plays at Notre Dame, which doesn't hurt.
He's got 1,100 for with 14 touchdowns, averaging 6.4 carry.
Question
I
for
don't
you.
know. Yeah.
Who's better? Keywan Lacey at Ole Miss or Jeremiah Love?
I'd say Jeremiah Love.
I agree.
All things equal, I'd say Jeremiah Love.
That being said, Keywan Lacey's legit, man.
He is.
He's fantastic. And he's putting up numbers.
That's the thing is he gets hidden in that offense a little bit, with some of the players around him. Not really the case with Jeremiah Love at Notre Dame. He's the name that everybody knows.
Yeah. More people should know Keywan Lacey's name. He's awesome.
He's the leader in touchdowns right now. 19 touchdowns for Keywan Lacey. 1,100, like yardage wise, they're almost identical, but Jeremiah Love's got a better average. Jeremiah Love's playing against a lot crappier competition.
Something to think about. All right, last game to recap from week 12. Turns out USC can win a game if it's raining, Ted. How about that?
I know a lot of people don't want to hear it, but they got a pretty good football team in Southern California.
Now, the way that this thing went in the first half, I'm sure people were already writing there. Lincoln Riley he cannot run a tough program. We can't play in the elements. Like, it did not look good early for the Trojans, but to their credit, complete domination in the second half. And to me, and this was something we talked about when we previewed this game, like the difference in the game was USC had Makai Lemon.
Yep.
And Jacoby Lane, but Makai Lemon in particular. 10 for 153 and a touchdown.
He is explosive. And they get him the ball in a bunch of really cool ways.
I, Maeva will just throw it up to him in double coverage in the end zone, and he just goes and makes a play. No problem.
Yep.
I thought Jade Maeva played pretty good as well. Like, all things considered, it was rainy, kind of an interesting situation, but played well in the second half. And then, dude, you just got to get some some bounces to have a really good season. And Gronowski throwing that ball and it bouncing off that dude's knees straight into the defensive lineman's stomach for USC that ends up sets up the game-winning touchdown for USC. That's good luck for the Trojans and bad luck for the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, just brutal stuff. But, hey, we talk about it all the time. You never know what it's going to take. You just have to find a way to win it. And the good teams find a way to pull it off. Sometimes it's ugly, sometimes it's great, but at the end of the day, you pull off the win, you just go on to the next one and try it again. And that's kind of what they've done. They've had some ugly football games that they've been able to come out on the high side.
Mark Gronowski threw for a touchdown, rushed for a touchdown, and caught a touchdown. There can't be many guys that have done that and lost the game. And I think he did it all in the first half. My memory serves me correctly. Like, you can't even enjoy it if you're Gronowski. You're like, that's awesome.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. I was starting to think, I was like, I wonder how many times that's happened at Iowa.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say never.
I mean, it's probably.
We'll get our stats department right on that.
It's probably happened on like a tailback pass, right? Like someone threw it, not a quarterback. If it's happened, not a quarterback.
Yeah, but a game of inches for Iowa. I mentioned the interception that goes off a guy's knee back towards the line of scrimmage, straight into Stewart's belly. And then they were so close to taking the lead late. Ted, I mean, Wiegand's toe is barely out on that fourth down play. It would have made it first and goal, I think, at like the 7 or 8 yard line, but game of inches. Being an Iowa fan's got to be really painful. They've lost 4 games, all to ranked teams, by a combined 15 points.
It's super stressful. I mean, nothing ever comes easy. I mean, even the game. Well, they've won some lopsided football games where they've been able to lean on people, but man, it's frustrating in the big games whenever you're that close. You have a lead and can't hang on to it. But I mean, they're a good football team, though. Iowa is. They're a hard out. They're hard to beat. USC at Oregon and UCLA left.
At Oregon's going to be a big one. Clearly. Trojans have to have it if they want to go to the playoff. So that'll be fair to say biggest game of Lincoln Riley's tenure at USC.
As late as it is, and with a playoff appearance on the line, it's got to be.
They played in the Pac-12 championship with Caleb Williams. That was the game where I think he hurt his hammy, and that was kind of what did him in that game. But
was that year one? I think that was year one, right?
Yeah, this feels big. And going against Lanning and Oregon, this feels very, very big for USC.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Dan Lanning's going to want to score 1,000 points.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
All their wide receivers are hurt, so I don't know.
That's the thing is a couple of weeks ago, I would have said there's no way. I mean, USC doesn't really stand a chance in this game, but I'm not so sure now, man. Oregon hasn't been super impressive to me, and USC just continues to find a way. And I don't know. Going to be fascinating, that's for sure.
Only other thing on the Iowa USC game, Iowa had an assistant coach get a 15-yard penalty that gave USC the first down that sealed the game, and I can't find a video of it anywhere. I don't know what happened. I just have to trust that it happened. Uh,
Wow.
it seems like a video should exist, and maybe at this point in time it does. But I looked for a while last night and couldn't find anything.
Wow.
Yeah, so
We'll just have to trust him on that.
yeah, apparently interesting.
Or, Oregon 8.5 point favorite this week in that game as of right now.
That's a substantial line.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. We'll see. So I just want to be entertained. Now, is there a sinister part of me that wants USC to win and for OU to host USC in a playoff game? Oh, yeah.
That would be awesome.
You want to walk into the most toxic environment imaginable for a college football game?
That would
Oh,
be that would be crazy. If they take care of business and we take care of business, there is no doubt in my mind that if there's a possibility for that scenario to take place, it's exactly what college football would give you.
do the right thing, College Football Playoff Committee. If that is, if you can make it happen, if you can manipulate it within reason, do it.
This is one time I'll be okay with it.
Yes. Yes.